What's up? So here we go, Gerard College. James G Spady, a major writer in literary and Afro diaspora. The reason we're in this spot is because one of his mentors was Cecil B. And Cecil B. the lawyer, black lawyer that fought for civil rights, black people, especially in Philadelphia, they helped black people get up in this Gerard College, because at one point, you know, Gerard College only accepted white orphan boys, and now black boys were able to get in here as well. But that didn't happen. It happened strategically. It was a method that Cecil B. used, and James G. Spady was right along with that fight during the 60s.
Now we got Remembering Selma and Philadelphia 50 years later, 1965. Historical narrative of Cecil B. and the platoon of young, courageous warriors who made history at Gerard College. So he started this one off. Copyright James G. Spady, 2015. Scoop USA, Friday, November 6, 2015. I had to kick their law into their teeth in order to save them. However, I heard that sometimes you have to deal devilishly with drowning men in order to swim them to shore. Or they will haul themselves and you too, the trash and the fish beneath. When I think of this, I do not worry about a few chipped teeth. By Pulitzer Prize-winning poet Gwendolyn Brooks. Considerable attention has been given to Selma, both the award-winning film and the historical activity. Yet in Philly, we have only begun to uncover the rich history of Cecil B. and the movement of human rights and justice that followed 2,000 seasons of denial and anti-democratic violence in the very cradle of democracy. Fortunately, there are many who participated in this mass movement before and after Gerard College. Should not our children be taught this in Philadelphia's public school and at the university level as well? We are tired of conferring. We're not going to waste time discussing labor unions or cops who beat us up. We're going to do something about it. Attorney Cecil B. This is James G. Spady starting this article off.
Was right along with that fight during the 60s. And it was the freedom fighters. You had Karen Smith, she's a freedom fighter. Then you had Smitty,
it wasn't
Freedom
Smitty.
He
It's
was
Karen
also a fighter,
Asper.
a Muslim that was a fighter in this.
Overdone.
And one of the things that they chant, I'm not going to get into the chant, but what they did was got blacks over this wall. But it was a serious fight. And these are the civil rights that we were going through in Philadelphia. And James G. Spady, he wrote about Cecil B. He wrote about this event. And James G. Spady is a very complex literary African studies, Afro diaspora studies man that understood these things, especially when it came to Philadelphia. And we at Gerard College, and now is black people in this school. But that didn't happen easy. So we're going to take you and I'm going to show you the wall. So walk with me down here and we're going to see this wall, how tall this wall was. Because at this wall, you had white kids that were throwing stuff over to black kids while they walking by. So this is we had to get up in here. Like, you're not gonna be in this area with a whole bunch of black people and we not getting and benefiting this school. You know what I'm saying? Gerard College, he's a rich philanthropist, I guess. Well, not I guess, you know. And that's what he spent his money on, but he only wanted white kids and white boys. But Cecil B. Moore, James Spady, Karen, Freedom Smitty, Freedom Karen, they stopped that by out here. Cops were beating them up. Cops were stopping. You can go online and you can see this. It's a documentary on it. But I'm talking about what James G Spady did in his literary work to help people acknowledge
A friend of mine, a colleague as well, he told me, he said, Haak, you got to look at the dedications. When Spady starts off his articles, he always have dedicated to. And this example, I'm not going to read all the dedication people he said, but this is just an example. So if he start off his article, and this is something he did, so it's copyright James G Spady 2015. Scoop USA, Friday, October 30th, 2015, page 7. I gotta do that because you gotta let it be known that this is him. So the same way you would read a text, I'm just giving you the reference. This is how he would start off the article. Way Black Memories. Way Black Memories, also copyrighted by James G Spady 2015. He copyrighted that. He coined that, Way Black Memories. That's his way of going back. So that's James G Spady's. So I just have to, once again, I put that out there because I'm doing a film read text and literary film. So I have to put Way Black Memories, Karen Asper Jordan. We were young, watching our people beaten on television. Cecil B. Moore Esquire, LeBaron of the court. Not LeBron, LeBaron. Singleness of vision morphed into the intense illumination achieved by that vision of liberated future, caught between mediating faith and a tragic balance of transformative dynamic. Critical and philosophical spaces carved out in white oligarchic city, existing somewhere between 1630 and 1930. The man's head was turned, and every time Cecil made a move, the sacred temple fell under the weight of black people's strategic moves and the clear-sounding trumpet of Lee Morgan. The established order plunged deeper into the tree-dense night of the mountain. See how that writing establishes what Karen Asper Jordan and Kenneth Freedom Smitty Salam is about to do in North Philly? And this article is about Gerard College and fighting to get black people inside that school. James G Spady was a master at communicating black existence to black people and other people across the world, letting you know how deep this historical events in history of our people was important.
So let's take a look at this wall, how this wall is. Welcome me down here. Over that wall, just like Jericho. See that? See that tall wall? Well, just like Jericho, we had to get over that wall. And that's what James G Spady, I gotta talk loud because I don't have my microphone. But he was able to write about that and talk about Cecil B. Moore and be a part of it as well, and to help blacks get over that wall. And we was able to do that. You know what I'm saying? That's why these histories are important. But how do you get this history? How do you get this knowledge from people like James G Spady? He was able to write about Cecil B. Moore and his actions. Freedom Smitty, Freedom Karen, and their actions to break these cycles, you know what I'm saying? So, and then we're going to go to Broad and Cecil B. Moore. And you're going to get to see a little treat I'm going to show you that James G Spady was able to get done. So we're going to take you over there, all right? So let's walk. We're going to also, these are the same streets that James G Spady talked about his friend that helped start the Black Arts Movement, Larry Neal. James G Spady was a very complex writer, very complex literary person. The way he wrote his commentary, his writings, and all his dramatic, beautiful work, it was almost like his poetry, but facts. So it's incredible work. You gotta know this. So let's go to Cecil B. Moore, Cecil B. Moore, also where Meek Mill come from. And Spady wrote about Meek Mill in a very dynamic way. It's a lot to this, you know what I mean? Very complex person. So we're gonna do that and let's roll out. So where we at? We at Cecil B. Moore Avenue, right? Now this is two things going on. Cecil B. Moore, you got to understand who he was. A major lawyer that did a lot for black people right here in Philadelphia. And James G. Spady, which was a writer, he understood that. And not only are we at Cecil B. Moore, the actual name of the street, but also this is the same area where Meek Mill come from too. And he also wrote about him as well. So he not only writing about just African diaspora on the level of talking about civil rights movements and things that happened, that Cecil B. Moore got kids, black kids in Gerard College, but he also writing about major figures such as Meek Mill, which is an MC out of Philly, and he giving you in-depth stories about these black people. And then you have Sonia Sanchez, a female black woman that's also came to Philadelphia out of the Nation of Islam and became a major poet. So these are the people that James Spady is constantly writing about. Now, we're on the Cecil B. Moore block. So let's walk down. We're going to walk down, and also you got Marcus Garvey, the UNIA, my fault, is down there as well, which is Marcus Garvey. So we're going to walk down the block, and just so you can get the gist of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? This is Meek Mill. He walked down this block a million times. Cecil B. Moore walked down this block a million times, dealing with the people. Cecil B. Moore dealing with a lot of his clients right in this area. But how do we know that? We know that because James G. Spady is writing about these major figures. So Meek Mill walked down this block a million times. Cecil B. Moore walked down this block. So let's take a walk with me and we're going to show you. Thanks a lot, bro. No problem.
All right, brother. Take it easy.
And this article is Meek Mill and Little Snoop and one of Meek Mill and Rick Ross. Meek Mill's captive Philadelphia audience through transcultural circulation, innovation, the global cipher, and Yamoon hip-hop black Atlantic rhymes and sounds. That's the entire article, right? That's the title of the article in this Scoop magazine. Now, once again, like I said, my friend, my colleague pointed out a dedication. Now, I got to read the dedication because that's part of how this article starts off. It says, dedicated to Little Snoop, Abu Wali, Boujouladji, French Montana, Ice Prince, Kid, Wiz Kid, the Vito, Jazzy, DJ Drama, Rick Ross, Eve, let me see, Eve, Lexus, Buju Banton, Bob Marley, Hakeem, Jeb, Jeb, what is it? Jeb Khalid, Wiz Kid, Grandmaster Nell, and the Funk Nation, Grandmaster Rashid, Perry P, the Immortal B Force, Schoolie D, Lady B, Peter Tosh, DJ Khalid, Sheb Mammy, Lady Saul, Jackie O, Malika, Jackie O, Malika Love, Cosmic Kev, Beanie Siegel, Malika Love, Hot Blast, yours truly. And I think he put Hakeem in there talking about me as well. But he knows how to do that, you know what I mean? So he says, Hot Blast, Pastor Troy, Cool G, talking about Cool G Rap. Red Bull is from Philly, a female rapper that he put in Twisted Tales. Freeway, and the postmodern avatar of Afrobeat hip-hop renaissance. So you see, that's just the dedication before you start off this Meek Mill incredible article. So let's go into the article, just the first two paragraphs that I'll read. Sonic bodies in motion as Gucci Man anthem lights the air. Sound clashes in Trenchtown's Signal nightclub. Petey Crack speeding up his rhyme as Nicki Minaj slows hers down. We rolling through the streets of the city as Twisted Tales fill the air. All moving toward Wells Fargo with that sick-ass hip-hop cargo. Man, what? What cub? What is over? Limelight hiding under the searchlight. Lights beaming in the sky. But out in Nigeria, they moving inside at the Heart Mountain moves with the seasonal wind in the middle of the wheel. They entering the VIP section before going near the cave. Some folk want to call it the tunnel. Whatever. This massive crowd are about to enter the doors of some old Millie-ish. Now that's how you start off Meek Mill's article. Can you imagine? What an incredible article. James G Spady was the dope hip-hop historian. Bad. Now this is in the Scoop. So he knew to give his North Philly, West Philly, Mount Airy, wherever you can get a scoop. And it was all over. It was a North Philly paper, but it was all over. But Spady gave it to you. And through Meek Mill. Meek Mill also being from 18th and Cecil B Mill, up in that area originally. And I know people say, oh no, he's from South Philly. No, he's from North Philly. But he spent a lot of time in South Philly because it was cool. But this is the type of stuff Spady writes about. James G Spady, an incredible master communicator, as my friend would say, as my man Kurt would say, an incredible historian, Afro diasporic hip hop cultural historian. James G Spady was a bad boy, man.
So right here, you got the UNIA, the Universal Negro Improvement Association. Also, a major thing that Spady talked about was Marcus Garvey. Spady always wrote about Marcus Garvey because these are people that's crucial to our history. And if you read the book, the Marcus Garvey book that Spady wrote, he talks about Marcus Garvey, and he talked about the headquarters that were here in Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? With Slappy being a major person. So this is one of the areas on Cecil B. Moore Avenue, and you see the sign here, Universal Negro sign there, founded in 1917 by Marcus Garvey. This movement inspired African Americans' pride and encouraged self-reliance, spread news of interest to black, and urged them to establish a national Africa. You know what I'm saying? Right in America, and that's what he got that ship to do import-export. And Marcus Garvey was a major subject in Spady's writings. You know what I mean? James Spady constantly dealt with the Marcus Garvey being with the foundation and stuff of that nature. Cecil B. Moore, Marcus Garvey, you understand?
Flag, got that.
NAACP here and the Negro UNIA down the street. You know what I mean? These are major things that James Spady spoke about. You know what I'm saying? So let's take a walk up to Broad and Gerard. This is also Temple now, you know what I mean? James G Spady spent a lot of time in Temple as well, gathering this type of information, and his writing was incredible. So, like I said, we're going to take that walk up to Broad and Cecil B. Moore Avenue, and I got a surprise. I'm going to show y'all something. So let's keep it moving. Marcus Garvey, Meek Mill, NAACP, UNIA. Spady wrote about it all. He was a hip-hop historian, showing the blackness of hip-hop as well as the Afro diaspora studies and ethos and the stuff that black people was getting in. Spady gave you that. Let's get ready to roll up here. Cecil B. Moore, if you see, you got Spady that developed this whole panel. Now this is Cecil B. Moore, and he's breaking down the timeline of his achievements in his life. You know what I'm saying? So if you look at Cecil B. Moore, you know Cecil B. Moore is right there. He's a major figure in our Philadelphia society. And what Spady did was he allowed you to see that. You know what I'm saying? We got all kinds of stuff going on. We in the street on Cecil B. Moore. So what better way for Spady to allow the average everyday person, North Philly person, especially the black young people or black old people or just people in general. You know what I'm saying? They walking down here from south to north and they stop and they see knowledge on Cecil B. Moore. And this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for James Spady's method in which how he allowed this information to be here on Cecil B. Moore Avenue on Broad Street, a busy street in North Philly. You know what I'm saying? This is a busy street. This is the type of work that James G Spady did. This is just a small portion into the writer James G Spady. This is just a small portion into the literary mind of James G Spady. and the work that he did. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna walk to the next panel. So follow me, and we're gonna walk down here. Now, this would be the first panel if you come in north that you would walk up on. It talks about Cecil B. Moore, early years of Cecil B. Moore, him with his family, him in the office in 1960, him with his, his colleagues, talking about Cecil B. Moore as a sergeant. So James Spady really did major work in working with Cecil B. Moore, and it's here on this panel. So you see how important the work that James G Spady did. So he really was able to give you that type of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You see the energy where we at and why it's important that James G Spady got this information out. You know what I mean? Very important. So let's walk over here.
Turn it off.
We can keep it on. I wanted to show you, if you look across the street, if you look across the street, you'll see you got Wendy's, Barnes and Nobles, you got the shops at the Avenue North, you know what I'm saying? It's a busy street, so more people can see this extraordinary work that James G Spady did on Cecil B. Moore Avenue. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important that we give you that history, and that not we, Spady gave you that history. You know what I'm saying? This is why he was a very important writer in our time, especially in Philadelphia and across the world. You know what I'm saying? So we good. And that's it. I hope you come down to Philly if you're not a resident of Philadelphia. I hope that you come down and look at Cecil B. Moore's panel and his exhibit. It's an exhibit right outside for you that Spady developed for you. So I hope you come down and check it out, you know what I'm saying, and see these type of works. And you get to see what Cecil B. Moore really was and who he was, you know what I'm saying? And now you understand what James G. Spady did to get that knowledge out. All right? So if you're from anywhere across the world, come to Cecil B. Moore, right? You see it right there. Cecil B. Moore in Broad. And you get to see this panel. So if you're from overseas or you want to come here, you come and you see the exhibit that we have on Cecil B. Moore. You know what I'm saying? So, and you get to come. And we buy Temple, you know what I'm saying? Temple University. So you get to see what Cecil B. Moore, you can at least look at a glimpse into his life. And that's what James G. Spady did. Allow the average, everyday person to come and see this important icon.
Right.
Peace.
Adi soga pago yeah ya wuzi unanga subu ya ni menti vete toloto so wudi aga pago tie yefuga pago mane ila Ikusu nengro e gara mama. Me fanyo ga nunepe. Nunepe ya petena soga pago. Adibo ga para ga nungla. Me ma fa grandma. Me ma fa grandma.